Hello everyone. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It would really help the channel out quite a bit. Thank you very much.
30 minutes to curtain. Yes, it's 30 minutes to curtain, bringing you a weekly half hour of radio entertainment. Each week at this time, we bring you mystery, comedy, adventure, romance, fantasy, and fun. This week, in a doubleheader of comedy and mystery, we're proud to present They Do It in Books by Jerry Schwartz and Strictly Western by Joel Malone. And later, during our program, we'll tell you how you can become a part of 30 minutes to curtain. And now, They Do It in Books.
Okay, Muggsy, move!
The sleek limousine pulled away from the curb in front of the bank. Steve Patty leaned back under the cushions, mopping his brow. Moocher turned around.
Boss, I tell you, if you'd listened to me, we wouldn't get in so many jams. They don't do it this way in books.
Books! Shut up!
Steve Patty slammed the door after his entire gang had filed into the richly decorated apartment. He counted them as they filed in, biting hard on his fat cigar each time he sized one of them up. There was Moocher, who was going a little soft. There was Muggsy, big and dumb but useful. And there was Trigger, a little bit cross-eyed, but still the best shot in gangland. Steve himself was the brains of the outfit, so he thought. His face was pudgy and his hair slicked down with an overdose of heavily scented tonics. There were 2 diamond rings on his short, fat fingers, and when he talked, he twisted them around, feeling the roughness of the 2.5-carat stones. He swaggered to the center of the room, planting his feet solidly on the thick carpet, and then he pointed his cigar at the boys.
Every day you guys get dumber, but today you acted like it's next week already.
How was we to know, boss, that the bonds wouldn't be there?
Who you blaming, me? You guys should be ashamed of yourself to let a mob like Polanski beat you to it.
You're the brains, boss.
Shut up! Nobody's asking you no questions, Moocher. I'm doing the talking. Boys, I got it. Leave it to Patty to think of the next move. What we gotta do is get rid of Polanski. Wipe him out.
Oh, boss, we've been saying that since 1926. First it was hijacking, then it was the laundries, the nightclubs, the number racket, the bookie joints, and now bank bonds. Always wipe out Polanski. That's the start, and that's the finish.
Okay, wise guy, you got all the brains in this outfit, and old Lady Ann in Poughkeepsie sent you a book once, and because you read a book, you know everything in the world. Okay, Mr. Moocher, spell it out.
It was more than a book Aunt Tilly sent me. It was a classic.
Classic schmassic. Who cares? Give me a racing form and I'm happy. What do you need all this book stuff for?
You can learn things from the books, boss. Things useful in the rackets.
Yeah? Give me a for instance.
Well, ways and means to get rid of guys. Maybe guys like Polanski even.
Yeah, no kidding. What's the name of this book?
It's all about Hamlet.
Hamlet? Where's that?
Not a where, boss. It's a who by Shakespeare.
Oh, I know that guy. He played halfback for Notre Dame.
It's a different Shakespeare.
Maybe it's in the family.
Shut up, Muggsy. Go ahead, Moocher.
Well, in this book, there's a guy, this Hamlet's uncle, who wants to bump off Hamlet's old man. But what does he do but put poison in the old man's ear while he's taking 40 winks? Not bad, huh?
Poison in the ear, huh? Moocher, maybe you got something there. This Shakespeare guy, is he a big racketeer?
Nah, he's dead, boss.
Oh, gee, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Say, this guy that pulled the poison job, did the cops nab him?
Nah, Hamlet got the gink eventually. But Hamlet's the kind of lightweight we can handle without any trouble.
Get out that book, Moocher. I want to hear the part about this here ear trick.
Sure, boss. Gee, I'm awfully happy you're getting an appreciation of literary stuff. Here's the book. Here it is, boss. Right after Hamlet says, "Oh, my prophetic soul."
What kind of talk's that?
Shh. Here's the part. Listen. Sleeping within mine orchard, my custom always in the afternoon. Upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebenon in a vial, and in the porches of mine ears did pour the leprous distilment.
Yeah, that's all right. But Chief, you think a guy like this here Shakespeare speak English?
At headquarters the following day, Special Investigator Carl Andrews paced up and down in front of the desk of Captain Grady.
Captain, I don't get it. A guy like Polanski suddenly out like a light. Woof! He's in bed like Sleeping Beauty, and he wakes up dead. Not a mark on him.
Well, you don't think it's Steve Patty's work now, do you?
I do think it's Steve Patty's work, and that's the whole blame trouble. He's been trying to get rid of Polanski since they were both in swaddling clothes. But whether he scared the guy to death or what, I don't know. Whatever happened, it's not Patty's methods. His complete language is gun talk. He just doesn't know anything else.
Well, maybe he's getting smart.
Yeah, maybe I'm the Raja of Persia. Captain, all I got to say is this. We haven't got anything on Mr. Patty yet, but I'm going to watch him, and watch him closely. There's something funny going on.
Back at the apartment, Steve Patty sat in a low-slung chair with a smirk of sheer delight on his fat face. He clasped his hands together.
Life is good, life is wonderful. Yeah, who is it?
It's Muggsy, boss. Open up. I've got an armload of books.
Open the door, Trigger.
I got all the classics I can carry, boss.
Be careful, Muggsy. These are valuable things.
Yeah, boss.
From now on, boys, me and the classics, we're like this.
Yes, sir. I got one here, boss, that looks like the goods. Look, the Three Mosquitoes. A great idea, huh? I bet maybe they stings the guys to death.
Yeah. Trigger, unlock the door to the other room. You can let Moocher out now.
Okay, boss. Okay, Moocher. The boss says you can come out.
You know, boss, you didn't have to lock me in. The book was so interesting I didn't even want to come out.
Well, give me the lowdown. What's it about?
Well, it's about this guy who calls himself the Count of Monte Cristo. This guy, Ed Dantes, now get this, boss, digs his way out of a pin called the Shaddy ODF. It's terrific.
What's the DF?
It's an island where there's a prison.
No kidding. Moocher, you're doing great work. To show how much I appreciate it, I'm going to give you a bonus out of your next bank job. Now take this here Crisco book and send it right away to my cousin Joe at Alcatraz.
Boss, I hated to tear myself away from this book. It's about moles, too. Little women. I tell you, when Joe cuts off her hair, I bawled like a baby.
Did you find anything in it we could use?
Not yet, boss. But give me time. I ain't finished.
Okay, a good day's work, men. Now, dismiss.
10 minutes later, the apartment was dark, and Andrews and Captain Grady slipped in.
Shh. Careful now. Don't put on the lights. Use your searchlight.
Right.
Captain Grady, come over here.
What have you got?
Will you look at this? The boys are going literary. Hamlet, Count of Monte Cristo, Little Women. Hey, wait a minute. A great many things are suddenly becoming very clear. You know who the new brains of this outfit is?
No, Andrews. Who?
Shakespeare, Dumas, and Louisa May Alcott.
It was almost a month later that Steve Patty sat in his apartment, fatter than ever, with a new diamond ring on his finger. The rackets had never been so prosperous.
Any guy which does not read the classics is uneducated. I am seriously thinking of taking over the library business. Okay, Moocher, your book review.
Boss, I bought a book today which will be a gold mine. The Memoirs of Cassius Andromachus. We follow it from start to finish, and we can't miss.
Okay, boys, do what Moocher says. We're going to cash in on Cashes.
The first job worked beautifully. These writers were much more clever than just plain crooks. Sure, they had to be. People had to believe the stuff they wrote. It had to work. Cassius Andromachus, for example. Great stuff. It was plain as day how to beat the jewel racket. Just follow Cassius Andromachus. Yes, sir, page by page. But when the boys got to the last chapter, and into the inner vault of the big jewel company they found the police there, waiting. Inspector Carl Andrews sauntered forward, and the police surrounded the surprised mob.
Hello, Patty. You know, it's just like a happy ending in books for us to catch you boys red-handed this way. We got enough on you now, page by page, to put you all out of circulation and into a federal library.
Moocher, what happened to the classics? Where did you get this book?
Boss, I got it in a bookstore. I thought it was wonderful, the Cassius Andromachus.
Yeah, thank you very much, Moocher. You see, that's the only copy in existence. But it was worth printing up. I wrote it myself. Cassius Andromachus is Carl Andrews.
No kidding. Moocher, I knew we should have stuck by the classics. Shakespeare wouldn't have double-crossed us.
Ladies and gentlemen, our producer, Mr. Steve Jelf.
Oh, easy, steady there, big fella. Thank you very much. Hello, friends. As our actors prepare for our next play, I would like to take you behind the scenes in our studios here at 30 Minutes to Curtain. Come with me, won't you, as I show you how and why our program works the way it does. Right now, we're in our studio's sound effects wing, where we not only produce all of the sound effects for 30 Minutes to Curtain, but also provide a training facility with classes in over 36 languages for sound effects students from all around the globe. Let's see what's going on over here in room 1583. Oh, yes, it's a class on the recording of small winged insects weighing less than 5 grams. Hey, you can't drive that fast in the halls. It's not a pretty sight, but there's heartbreak and tragedy in radio, too. But enough of that. If we don't hurry up, I won't be able to show you everything. Let's hop a tram.
Step aboard quickly, please. 25 cents.
Oh, hello, Carlton.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Jelf. That'll be 50 cents, please.
I'll have to owe you.
You always do, Mr. Jelf.
Let's listen as Carlton describes some of the attractions on the 30 Minutes to Curtain studio tour.
On our left, you'll see our 65,000-seat domed stadium, where we record all of our crowd scenes. On our right, our pool, where various wonder effects are recorded. This is dock 283. End of the line. Transfer here for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
Well, this is where we get off. Let's step out of the building now and take a stroll about the grounds. Gee, it's a beautiful day. I did want you to have a chance to visit our military section, where we prepare and execute our war stories. It's a rather large area, so I'm going to show it to you through the radio magic of quick cutting. Oh, we have to be very quiet now. I hear the signal that another segment of 30 Minutes to Curtain is about to begin. We'll have to postpone our visit to the administrative complex and the rest of our modest facilities until a later time. I'll return you now to our staff announcer, Bob Lyons, in our main auditorium.
Oh, well, Davy, we gave him the slip again.
Yeah, nice driving, Steve. Where you heading for now?
Why, to that little western town I told you about. We can lay low there for a few days and then move on. And I got a nice surprise for you, Davy. I've been saving this for a laugh. This is a real western town we're headed for. They don't allow cars inside the city limits, just horses and buggies. Some old-fashioned idea about keeping a strictly western atmosphere. Can't you picture it, Davy? We hold up the bank, and then they try to catch this supercharged baby on horseback. Oh, what a yarn that'll make for the newshawks.
As the big dark sedan rolled along the desert road at a high rate of speed, the man at the wheel turned to his brother.
You know, Davy, this bank job's gonna be like taking candy from a baby.
How do you mean, Steve?
I'll let you see for yourself. Look ahead right up the road now. There's somebody flagging us down. Now just play dumb, and he'll explain everything to us. Hey, what's wrong, cowboy? Why are you stopping us?
Reckon this is as far as you can go on that automobile. You're heading into Littleburg.
Never heard of it.
Well, the town's run by old Jeff Little. He's mayor and sheriff, too. Got no use for automobiles. You can either turn around and drive back to the main highway or park your car over by them trees yonder and take the stagecoach in. Cost you 4 bits apiece.
They're going up a quarter. All right, cowboy, hitch up the horses. We'll take the stage into town.
You'll sure enjoy it, gents. No traffic fumes, blaring horns or like. And if you hurry, you can meet old Jeff Little himself. He's officiating at the dedication of the new bank. Yes, sirree, citizens of Littleburg. It's a right proud moment in my life to stand here for all you loyal townspeople and dedicate this here bank building. Yes, sirree, 'cause I know what this cornerstone stands for. Quiet and peace, and all that goes to give a body a rest from city ways. I'm proud of this here strictly western movement, and as long as I'm mayor and sheriff, I aim to keep it so. This here new bank is open for business at 10 o'clock tomorrow a.m. Yes, sir, and you'll find ample money behind the counter for your needs. Ample money. That's because our strictly Western idea has prospered. Yes, sir, prospered and grown. Why? Because all work and no play makes Jack. Or words to that effect. Yes, sirree.
Standing at the edge of a small crowd gathered for the dedication were Steve and Davy Stone. They watched as old Jeff Little took a silver trowel, dipped it into the wet mortar nearby, and sealed the new bank's cornerstone into place. The cornerstone that stood for quiet and peace and no traffic fumes. As the crowd began to move slowly away after the ceremony, the racketeers pushed forward to confront old Jeff Little.
Mayor Little, let me congratulate you. My friend and I are visiting your town for the first time, but we certainly want you to know that this strictly Western movement of yours is a mighty noble thing.
Well, thank you, gents, thank you. I hope you weren't too inconvenienced riding in from the city limits in our stagecoach.
Not at all, Sheriff. I mean Mayor.
It's all right, I'm both sheriff and mayor. Yes, sir, I'm elected mayor and I've appointed myself sheriff. I figured it gives better coordination twixt the two departments. Yes, sirree. You watched the laying of the cornerstone?
Yes, Sheriff, and it was a very impressive ceremony. I suppose tomorrow morning everyone will be hurrying down here to put their money in the bank.
Oh, yes. Yes, sirree. Offering a prize for the first depositor. And also for the one depositing the most at one time. Yep. You gents aiming to settle here in Littlesburg a spell? You'll find it mighty interesting. 'Pears that city folks is the ones most interested in our strictly Western movement. There are lots of city folks got houses down here. Yes, sirree.
Well, Sheriff, we're only staying overnight this time. However, we may be back if you keep this place this way. You see, we think the idea of having no automobiles around is fine. Isn't that right, Davy?
Oh, yeah, that's right, Steve.
Davy? Steve?
What's the matter, Sheriff?
Oh, nothing. I reckon them names sound familiar together. That's all. Sounds like I read about a couple of brothers named Stone. They were called Davy and Steve. Can't rightly remember what it was that they got in the papers for. A couple of prize fighters or something, I reckon. We don't get many papers out here. Haven't got any radios or telephones neither. Got no use for 'em, just like automobiles.
Now, that's mighty interesting, Sheriff. Tell me, don't you even know how to drive a car?
What? I should say not. Never want to learn either. Dangerous to life and limb. Yep, and pedestrians. Littleburg's the only place a body's safe from 'em. I aim to keep it so. Just so. Yes, sirree.
Well, Sheriff, you'll never know just how much we're in favor of the idea. Davy and me wish we could stay here forever.
Oh, any reason why you can't?
It's just that we like to keep on the move.
Well, shucks, that ain't proper. Ain't you gents learned rolling moss gathers no stones?
You mean rolling stones gather no moss, don't you, Sheriff?
Well, more likely, but you get the idea.
Yeah, but we still keep traveling. It's Davy, you know. We have to keep moving around for his health.
Oh, well, that's different. I hope you enjoy your stay here, though. You'll find the hotel comfortable. Be sure and tell folks about our little western town. I calculate there ain't no place like it on earth. It's paradise, gents. Genuine dyed-in-the-wool paradise.
Half an hour later, in the privacy of their hotel room, Steve and Davy Stone went over their plans for the robbing of the Littleburg Citizens Bank. Davy Stone was even more enthused than his brother Steve.
Oh, this is a cinch, Steve. Just like you said, a lead pipe cinch. I wouldn't have believed it till I saw it with my own eyes. Now, here's what we're going to do. I stay in town, see? You ride out to the city limits in a stagecoach. The bank will be closing at 3 p.m. With all those first-day deposits, there'll be enough dough around to fill a suitcase.
Right. And you'll supply the suitcase, huh, Davy?
Yeah. I'll carry it right into the bank. Only there'll be a submachine gun inside. I figure them tellers won't do much arguing with the muzzle of that little sweetheart, staring them in the face.
That'll be a laugh. I wish I could be there to see it. But I'll be driving the car, same as always, Davy?
That's right. I'll walk into the bank just before it closes. The whole thing shouldn't take more than 5 minutes, and that's just how long it should take you to drive in from the city limits. You'll pick me up in front of the bank at exactly 5 minutes after 3. We'll be out of town in no time.
And how we will, Davy. And I can just see that bandy-legged old sheriff trying to lasso the car. We should have bought a camera.
The following afternoon, shortly after 3 o'clock, Sheriff Jeff Little, together with the cashier and the teller of his new bank, stood facing the wall with hands held high in the air. Davy Stone stood behind them holding a submachine gun in one hand, a suitcase full of greenbacks in the other. He was perfectly calm and chuckling softly all the while.
Mighty nice of you, Sheriff, keeping all automobiles out of town. No traffic tunes, no blaring horns, and no police cars to chase bank robbers with. Me and Steve sure appreciate this strictly Western idea. If you keep it this way, Sheriff, maybe we'll come back. Sorry, me and Steve had to run off with half your bank this way, but after this, maybe you'll figure Rolling Stones do gather a little moss once in a while. At least the Rolling Stone brothers. Oh, yeah, you were right, Sheriff. You sure did read about us. Well, there's Steve. I'd like to stay and chat with you for a while, but me and Steve's gonna go for a joyride. Wish you could come along, Sheriff, but then I know how you hate automobiles. Got no use for 'em, ain't that what you said? Well, so long, Sheriff Little. Me and Steve are going places. Thanks for paying our way.
Davy stepped outside the bank and ran quickly down the steps. Steve had timed his arrival perfectly. He held the door open for Davy and slammed it shut as his brother leaped into the back of the car, clutching the heavy suitcase.
Step on it, Steve. Let's get out of here.
We're on our way, Davy. And don't worry, there ain't any boulevard stops in this town. Well, Davy, we did it, just like I said we would, huh? There's 50 miles between us and Littleburg. Didn't I tell you it was going to be like taking candy from a baby?
Yes, Steve. Only the baby was an old fogey, Sheriff. I bet he's hopping mad right now about us, huh?
Yeah, hopping mad and twice as helpless.
What you slowing down for, Steve?
That clump of trees up ahead, one of them's been blown across the road. We'll have to lift it up out of the way.
As the powerful sedan rolled to a stop, Steve and Davy Stone stepped out and walked up front to where the fallen tree lay across the highway. They were about to lift it off the highway when a quiet voice froze them in their tracks.
Reckon I'll just ask you boys to drop that log and turn around here. Turn real slow like. Haste'll make me waste a few bullets on you. Surprise, huh, boys? Reckon you didn't figure on me taking a shortcut.
You're lying. There ain't no shortcuts. Besides, you said yourself you didn't know how to drive a car.
I don't want to learn neither. Got no use for automobiles. Too ancient. That's how I travel, boys.
The sheriff pointed just beyond the little clump of trees. Resting very quietly on the desert sand was a trim, streamlined, low-wing monoplane. The sheriff grinned broadly at Steve and Davy Stone.
Yep, half the citizens of Littleburg have planes. Been taking flying lessons for weeks myself. This was my first solo flight, but I calculated I did all right. Sort of killed 2 stones with 1 bird.
If you'd like to be part of 30 Minutes to Curtain, writing, acting, sound effects, production, write 30 Minutes to Curtain, KCSN, 18111 Nordhoff Street, Northridge, California, 91330.
Our short stories were directed by Herbert T. Schmidt, Jr. and produced by Steve Jelf. Our technician is C.R. Bryan III. Sound patterns were by D.F. Langford, R.F. Clancy, and A.Q. Farn. They Do It in Books by Jerry Schwartz featured Frank Finn as Steve Patty, Ed Hayes as Carl Andrews, Phil Campbell as Moocher, Dave Smith as Captain Grady, Stan Rayburn as Muggsy, and Bernie Aronson as Trigger. Strictly Western, written by Joel Malone, featured Al Bloomfield as Steve, Charles Girardi as Davy, and Frank Finn as Sheriff Jeff Little. Join 30 Minutes to Curtain again next week for The Man Says Yes, starring Bob Shannon. Your announcer, Bob Lyons.